Spirit Vessel brings it down. Duel comes out too late. Now, Legion trying to duel up with his blade mail. It's not going to be good enough. They will get it at the end. They do get the win. They couldn't stop it. And Xiao Yu, the triple stun, looks nice for a moment. Flash goes down to Ori, and that's the Ori show. Can he kill anyone, though? No mana left. Torrent does touch. Frost. First life might be expended, but the pressing attack means he can fight back. And PYW, he's just healing him up. He's a walking mechanism right now. Stuns out to Bone 7, trying to move away. Oh, well, nods won't get him away, though. And Xiao Yu, it's time to cut. Frost says, okay, time to leave. I got no reinforcements here. No rep for 5 seconds, so the Aegis will be expended.
There's no mana on the Lina, so they won't be able to follow this up with a couple of extra stuns. He has that rage and insta TP. Maybe if Lina had mana for LSA, they could have taken the Nyx once again, but it's very unlikely. They just don't have the damage.
And Frost won't hang around because, you know, while Lina is a high priority kill, you can't reach her, and you're worth so much gold right now. It's not worth a gamble of a kill.
Exactly. Overall, that team fight was pretty good for Viking GG, even though they lose the OD instantly and the Aegis afterwards. They did take down the PA in the dual damage, and that's what shows them the path towards these next team fights and how they should take them. All of these next team fights, perhaps the best way around it is to just duel the PA as long as possible and just kill her off. A Blink Dagger on LC would be really good for them. And if you are on Vici Gaming, you can just go with the BKB on Phantom Assassin and work with that.
He almost has it completed. Meanwhile, Kunko, who has that Spirit Vessel, we saw how valuable that was. He is going to go towards a little bit of minus armor next. The Medallion is the next priority for him. He will be the buffer alongside the Ogre Magi. Never should underestimate a hero like PA when you have both the Bloodlust and the Solar Crest, but you do have to be careful in this type of game because that makes it easier for you to kill yourself in a Blade Mail.
They don't truly have a lot of save. That's a problem for Vici Gaming, besides that ROM, right? That ROM is amazing. That's why Kunkka is so highly contested right now.
But if you're a PA, all it takes is one crit late game, right? Yep. So the boat ROM doesn't even reach you in time. It is a scary, scary game.
You saw what happened to OD in that last fight as well. Yep. They just blew him up before he was able to do anything. So it's on Vici Gaming to just see when Viking GG are slightly out of position and then they have to strike. And they're really good at that. They're really experienced too. That's they will be trying to accomplish.
Maybe get some more dual wins on Bone. I wonder if he's going to buy the Blink first before completing the pipe. Because you are at a stage where either one has big benefits here. There it is, the Blink. You mentioned it before. You just need to jump first. If you do, we already said the lack of saves can come and bite Vici in the ass.
Yeah, you just need to initiate on this PA. Like, there are some other heroes that are really good first picks. Sandkin, Kunkka, obviously. Lina as well, very squishy.
Oh, he gets away. They actually did use the Flesh Golem as well.
They guessed wrong. They guessed wrong. They thought that they were waiting for them on the high ground. They had a little bit of paranoia around them. And I can't blame them, though, because it is a situation that you usually expect, but with Vici Gaming, they're just way too satisfied with just farming, waiting for the BKB on PA, which is flying out right now, I believe. Also, a gem has been completed, so Mirana and her ulti won't be as much of a problem any longer.
I feel like I want someone on their team to go to Link. Yeah, they have got the Lincolns. That's the crucial thing. Now they can't duel. I was wondering if Ori's going to be the one to go for, and he was. I'd like that he's done this, though. Like, the only way the PA really should die in these fights is if she gets dueled.
And you can see that they're actually popping that Lincolns on PA all the time, too. You do have ways of dealing with the Lincolns really easily. Like, Soul Rip is one of the easiest.
But if they BKB first, suddenly it's the PA's fight, and there's a 10-second BKB as well. Viking, they are waiting with an effect bomb. They're like, someone has surely got to come to this creep wave, because Roche could be up in a minute. There's no way that Vici stays away from this pit for much longer.
It's just a... Now they have to decide whether to go towards this tier 2 on the bottom lane or keep their map control, keep the map control around Roshan. The easier play and the more safer play is to keep the high ground, but instead they will invade.
Cube, they see him, he Moonlight Shadowed under a ward. Torrent follow up, and he is gone. See you, Cat Lady. jump
kill
in.
up.
They can't duel. They go for a different target instead on the Sanky. The UC interrupt them though. It won't be good enough. They'll still get the duel win. The boat comes in. Only connected on once. BKB is activated by Mastermind, who's still hunting and looking for more. PA looks to go in. The crit's going to come out down to half HP. Already going to chase through his own BKB. Mastermind needs to buy time, but the stun follow up. DY perfectly positioned. Turns around. Boat 7. See you later. 1200 damage is more than enough to melt through that Legion commander.
X?
Oh, the X?
No, it's
no.
PA.
They hit on PA.
Yeah, messed up a little bit, but overall perfect execution by Vici Gaming. This is how they have to play. Force the BKBs, run away after the BKBs are done, turn and fight. And that's exactly what happened to poor old OD. Also, I have to commend Kunkka and Ogre the way they timed their stuns. Legion Commander was following PA and OD in order to save OD from the PA, but they both got stunned at the same time. Legion was stunned, disabled by the torrent. At the same time, Ogre stuns the OD, and PA has an easy cleanup over there. Yeah, Vici Gaming, they're definitely proving why they are considered favorites here. They're just executing these team fights to perfection versus Viking GG. And Viking GG, they had an opportunity there, a huge one that they missed. PA was actually stunned by an arrow at the beginning of that fight. They were just a little bit too slow with the sentry.
And now max punishment, because they didn't move straight towards the pit. They were afraid that they were hiding on the high ground. Now Vici, they have an easy Aegis and Cheese.
Yeah, by the time they get to this rush, Vici Gaming will already have 2 lives on PA, Cheese as well. And now if you want to fight them, you are at a serious disadvantage from the get-go. Let's see if they can do anything. The Infest Bomb is there on the LC. Lincoln Sphere, though, still on PA, and they can't go.
The issue for them right now is how do you actually get through?
Maybe they can find Lina here.
Oh, there it is. The first bomb out after the ult's been used. Chasing on him. Already down to half HP. Stun through. Well,
Dying is
that's
already
one way
dead in
to
the
eat an
back.
arrow.
PA is coming. He already took down Flash.
He wants more. Can he find it, Eurus? Moonlight Shadow, Wall High Bone. He did walk under a sentry for a second there, but goes the right way to escape. And they are hunting for something bigger. Frost? No. Burrow Stroke was just short. Rage, TP out. Not getting caught like that, says Frost. I've already had a battle.
He can still do that. He can still do that, but you can see that PA is already building into a basher, so not for long. Like, very soon, PA will be able to go on him and perhaps bash, cancel that TP.
You still need RNG, but in theory, yeah.
And you also can't TP anywhere if they're on your high ground and they're moving in that direction. They're moving at completely closing out the dire map and keeping them choked out inside of their own base. This is basically what you do next.
Very generous of Vici to save Viking money on the need for TPs, as they can't get out of their base, as you said. Except for Frost, he can push for a little bit longer. Trying to get his hands on that MKB so they actually have the means to deal with this Phantom Assassin. Can't come soon enough. Mastermind, in the meantime, he is going to all the Shivas. I like this. It's tempting to go for a Hex, right? But we already mentioned the Lincolns. It's already difficult. You just need more armor.
He needs more armor. He needs at least the plate mail as soon as possible. He needs that plate mail versus the PA. The Dazo just shreds right through him, and that Basher now has been completed too. Phantom Assassin level 21, Dazo, Basher, Battle Fury, BKB. It's a good position to be in, 30 minutes in.
He has moved away from his team, though. And if you realize it's on Viking, maybe you get an opportunity, but instead...
Frost maybe does not realize.
Oh, the bash straight away in the rage. Needs TP right now, but now it's too late. They're all here.
Maybe it's not. He ran...
No, it's definitely too...
Oh, no, I knew it. I knew it. I knew that was going to happen because it's so clutch. It's in the trees and you have to actually use that tools properly there. It happens. It happens so often. It happened to Kunkka earlier too with that X marks the spot, and they haven't really calibrated their mouses right yet.
Oh, that must be it. I think we're just going to rename him to Ori at this point. They will not let it shake them, though. They'll smoke and they'll go on patrol again. They go, okay, didn't work. Viking just got out of their base for a few moments, though. We can't have that. Let's put them back in the pen.
They instantly go and try to punch them, but if Flash is the only one that they find, that's
Kill
really
me.
not great.
Kill me.
It's an undying. He's happy to give his life for OD, who just TPs away. OD that was able to outpush the lane as well a little bit further. And Viking GG, they're definitely splitting them up. They're finding ways of getting outside of their base. You can see them moving all the way to the right side and forcing Vici Gaming to go there, then moving all the way to the top side. And on the top side, Lina might be in problems here.
Nah, Cube decided to scout somewhere else with the arrow.
Also, Ori is going for that Aghanim. He's got it already, in fact, and Nyx has to be careful even with that rage.
Q needs to be careful. He might be painting himself into a mess here. But it looks like they'll just get out. Lifesteal TPs away, and so will Q.
They're doing this really well, and I can't really see if it's Viking GG doing it really well or a couple of mistakes by Vici Gaming. Self-fuels and also finding Undying on the other side of the map. They're splitting them. It's a little bit of both, but it definitely does benefit Viking GG as they're able to stay in this game until Aegis is reclaimed. That's going to be in 50 seconds.
Yeah, the challenge here is keep dodging and also find a way to get Mastermind back in this game. Like, that's the biggest difference here between Ori and Mastermind on that mid. And it has been the story of the game, really. Like, Ori, so many good rotations, and despite Mastermind's farming, he's still fallen so far behind.
Wait, what's the PA Aghanim again? I forgot it.
It's the one where it, like, lowers the cooldown of blur and lets you renew, right? So it's like, for Overwatch players, it's a bit like Genji. So yeah, your ability to get refreshed when you kill someone.
I remember.
It can be pretty powerful. And actually, I've seen Chinese teams especially love this item. Like, they're all over this. Hasn't really spread it to
hero kill, your abilities are refreshed. So you're pretty much... You remember that game, Ninjas? What was it called? There's a mini game in Dota, like a map.
Oh, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. You get a kill, you get your abilities back. Yeah, now, oh, trying to kill now. The Astral saved the life, though. Lifesteal's pretty low. Torrent, doesn't matter, missed time. Now the Yu's going to come out. Leader's still out of the base, but nope, gets away.
Nyx has that MKB to work with, but now he's forced into the fountain to heal up first. However, Vici Gaming, they will fall back because Aegis has been reclaimed. They have a lot of gold that they can use. Also, bounty runes have been respawned.
Flashes.
He stole one.
He snatched one. Yeah. He didn't actually feel confident to go for the other one. He would have beat him there.
110 gold each. It's good.
Worth more than an Undying's life. On the other side, they're patrolling. Ori, he's pinging. He has a Shadow Blade, but it's running out soon, so he has to work fast here. Xiaoyu looks on the right, turns around. OD, arrow through, trying to save him, but no. Stun 2, gonna go down. Mastermind is dead. Frost chasing through. Duel on the side in the meantime. It's actually gonna be a win for Eurus. He doesn't die to the blade mail. Now Ori's still alive. They're gonna turn around. The buyback from Mastermind jumps into the sands and clips. No, the VK protects him. Eurus is able to dominate the fight. Lifesteal down, Murana down. They're all dying here. Mastermind with a dieback as well, and they can't even kill off the Sand King.
Oh man, and it's only the Undying that survives, and that's because he was nowhere near that fight. Dieback by the OD. They go straight into the high ground. They have a buyback only on the Legion Commander, and this side should be easy. This game should be easy for Vici Gaming to win.
It's 70 seconds. There's no way you can hold. They admit defeat here as Vici take game one. Pretty cool cucumber there. Not too hard for them. I mean, you saw the desperation, right? When Bone Blade Mail duels that PA, you're like, he better crit. Because if he does not crit, I'm done and we are done.
Yep. Very unfortunate game for...
Virtus Pros turn to pick.
So when you do these team fight engagements, but not as good when you have to rotate and show up later. Last bands, Lifesteal in the run, and then they get a Silencer pick. So maybe Silencer is a 3 instead. Or I'm sorry, this is a VP draft, not Beast Coast. So probably the 5. The little
Usually
solo
the 5 in
silencer.
solos hands, yeah. Who's the big silencer player on the team, or has been in the past, don't know now, because of course they've got a couple of new boys on the team as well.
So silencer can be a good pick in this case, but if I'm looking at Tiny, it's a little scary to me. I guess it's not going to be Tiny core, so we won't have a massive level advantage, but typically heroes that don't have stuns, like Shadow Demon or Silencer, I'm worried about them just getting bursted a lot early mid-game, so...
And there's
they get the Bloodseeker anyways. And now, again, lack of stuns, Bloodseeker's happy. He's like, you're going to silence me? Oh, no.
Gee, no, I'll do that myself.
He's just going to run down Silencer consistently, so it's going to make Silencer's game a little bit harder, unless, again, it's just like a Silencer 3. They need to pressure him in lane, I think, and hopefully they're able to do that more effectively with something like an SD Lush. And that might have been why that was their opening, because they're just thinking, like, we want a guaranteed way to blast him in the laning stage, run him down with the Edict, to get kills, and make sure that he doesn't get ahead at all. And it should make the game a lot harder if that's the case.
This is what Evan's last point is exactly where I was going in terms of looking at this draft. I think the big thing that stands out to me in all three of Beast Coast's games today is they've drafted themselves very strong side lanes, a very stable lane configuration. And I think this lineup here, you talked about the potential of the SD Lesh in lane as well as some roaming potential. The Silencer, also a 5-position hero that has some damage potential in lane. And then when you stack it all up on top of a Drow steroid, this is a lineup that I think Beast Coast are going to try to bully you in lanes, and you have to have an answer to that. And I think these first 4 picks give VP at least some potential in that direction.
You know, after seeing the Drow pick, though, I just can't help but look at Silencer and be like, I mean, Silencer support with Drow is great and all, but, like, imagine a core Silencer with, like, 50 extra attack speed at 10 minutes with max glaives. Like, he's going to hit so stupidly hard if he's a core instead of a support that it almost makes me want him to be a core instead. But if they can make it work, I think it would be insane damage output.
Do you feel like, though, there's still, to bring this VP draft together, I still think you need some 5th hero that's like a centaur, like tanky, something that can actually frontline for you, because right now you don't really want the Lesh to have to frontline against these 4 heroes on the board for BC.
That's the key to all Drow lineups is like, if the lanes go great and you're winning in net worth, it doesn't matter if you don't really have a frontliner as much, because you have net worth advantage. Gary, especially against a hero like Bloodseeker or Tiny, they're going to run into your face, and it's going to be difficult for you to stop them from hitting you. Silencer doesn't do that well. Drow can and cannot sometimes, depending, and SD is a little bit limited too. So they absolutely need some way to like create like a barrier, prevent your opponents from running you down. Something like Mars, Tidehunter, something that has like good area control to make the run at you less scary.
Absolutely.
Disruptor, kind of similar vein as punishing that run at you thing. Glimpse people back out of position. Don't let them retreat. If you do run at them, which they're definitely going to be able to do between Nyx, Tiny, Bloodseeker, they're going to run at VP, they're going to glimpse one back, they're going to murder that guy, and then they're hopefully going to clean up the rest of the fights. This is actually a rare case where Disruptor is a really good pick. Definitely generally seen as a weak support hero right now.
Well, Disruptor has the same problems that he's always had, and that's that he can get run at in lane, and he's in the mid game. If he's ahead, he feels like a monster. If he's behind, he can feel like a total non-presence.
And the reason he's normally a non-presence is because outside of like the utility of glimpsing a guy back, he offers damage, but that's about it. But against squishy heroes, damage is more of a threat because burst is effective against lower HP heroes. If all those heroes on VP are tanky and you're like, I offer damage and no disable, it doesn't feel good at all. So this is like a rare case where the benefits that Disruptor has is actually useful in almost all ways.
Yeah, it's interesting, though, that VP are the ones, after all that take out the Centaur. The Disruptor is now, for Beast Coast, is kind of a pre-counter to the Tide, if Virtus Pro were looking in that direction. It's true. And the Beastmaster and the Centaur are now taken off the board, so that Mars that you talked about, maybe that's going to be the solution for VP.
I don't know if I want to play Mars against Bloodseeker. I don't think you'll ever land the spear.
I would
get ready to throw, and he just does some anime stuff, basically, and then how are you going to hit him, you know?
Animate jukes.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. It's going to start jumping side to side. He'll be invisible, and you're like, I might as well throw the spear backwards. It might be there. But yeah, something like that. It's some area control, anti-run at you. They need a kinetic field, essentially, around their team, and then they just want to stand in the middle of a circle. And I don't know if anyone ever does that, kinetic field your teammates. Actually, is not a bad idea.
Or is this you talked about Husker in the previous draft, Paul. Is this some cheesy-ass Husker pick for VP?
I was thinking maybe they go for something like an Enigma, though.
No, it's not.
Because that's something that knits
like,
things together.
It's great for 4 seconds out of 200, yes.
Yeah, no, it's got a long cooldown.
For the hundreds of seconds, yes, it's not going to work. And even like Malphus is pretty weak disabled.
Something like that, maybe a Monkey King then?
Is this Pango mid?
It doesn't matter. Pango, Beast Coast, look at that run of you lineup. What the hell is VP?
Are you going to chase him?
VP needs to stomp these lanes or something. Or they need to like global silence him before he gets his ulti off.
Wow.
Like
Dazzle mid, this is, okay, I love this pick right now because again, it is just, it's what you need to do against BC. You need to win these lanes. You need to own that early part of the mid game. Dazzle mid, I hope he's going to go Greaves rush build here, get those Greaves before 15 minutes, exploit the cooldown reduction, and VP is going to be ready to fight continually in this match. Not like the last one. I think they've made the right adjustments from game one.
The initiation is going to be really, really important in this game. Like, you can't let them use their rolling boulder, blink avalanche, toss the guy back. It needs to be like, hey, we're fighting, we global silence, we land some poison, we gust some guys, and then we're able to like kill one or two in that initial engagement. If it becomes like a wide spread out fight with pickoffs like Beast Coast typically plays, I think VP is going to get run over. But so it's like they can win with this draft. I think it's going to be difficult to execute, and Beast Coast is probably more likely to win it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Nahaz and Purge with their thoughts here on the panel. Time to head back to our commentary team of Kyle and Toby1 for game number 2.
Thank you, Red. Yes, we're back for game number 2. Beast Coast, an aggressive lineup, fantastic combinations back again with a tiny Bloodseeker. We've got a Pango to put the feather in the draft. And Virtus Pro, we have ourselves a Dro lineup here. Kyle, this, as a Dro fan myself, this feels very rough for a Dro Ranger. There are so many ways to close the distance and just pop her off and just remove that big buffer.
It's simple. Do you ever watch the movie Braveheart, Gladiator?
Yes.
It's very easy.
Yes.
You've got the
Casting was fantastic.
Archers versus cavalry. All right, archers have the advantage until the cavalry are on top of them, and that's what you're going to do for Beast Coast. Roll through it, prevent the high damage output. Don't let these heroes stand still and deal DPS. But if there's
I think Gladiator was a lot better choice than Braveheart for the archers versus the cavalry.
What do you mean? Well, yeah, because the cavalry never showed up because those goddamn traitors, Toby. But let's not get into that. Okay. Let's not get into that.
Sure. Let me just pass that through the House of Lords.
Braveheart's not. Never mind. Not going to get into it. Look, here's the thing. VP, if there's a lineup, if there is an organization synonymous with the success of Drow Ranger, it's got to be VP. Going all the way back to TI5, where they eliminated some of the favorites secret using a Drow lineup twice in a row. You probably don't even know if that's true or not because you don't remember, but it is. I know because right before they beat Secret, they beat me, and it still haunts me to this day.
That's that point when you got trust in Kyle.
The thing about it is, though, that Beast Coast, especially on the back of this Pangolier, you have so much vision. These two supports, Disruptor Nyx, talk about finding kills. You cannot find better Slayers in the meta at the moment. You've got the off lane, or sorry, the mid tiny, that if he gets ahead can just start bodying people. Weak in lane against the Dazzle, of course, with 0 armor, at least for now. A VP, you want to get aggressive early, get towers, and make sure that you don't take bad fights, because Beast Coast's mid game is incredibly powerful.
I agree with everything you said, Kyle, as I was staring at Pangolia. I actually think that's one of the of the coolest things ever is Pango's cosmetic, where he's got his own little pirate parrot right next to him. It's like you've actually introduced, like, well, we used to have the armadillos that everyone can still use, but now it's, yeah.
We'll see how this plays out. Schofield doing a bit of body blocking down bottom. Stinger, they're trying to make sure this comes into tower range right away. I love this aggro tri-lane into the Drow. This is how you want to address the hero. Don't let Epi Kid free farm because he just wants level 6. The moment he gets that, he's good to go.
And it really zones out Solo too. Like, Solo's meant to be the harassment. You go that first point up in Glaive of Wisdom because you want to get some level of damage to make space for your safe laner. But now, Epi Kid starts the lane at half-life. And what do they do about top lane anyway? Like, Pango, if you try to initiate on him, he just swashbuckles away. This is great, at least from save, where he's able to get these poison stacks onto Pango as long as he hits the lines right. And that's going to be the first he misses.
He's done a great job, though, because he's already got lane control. It's going to be coming into his tower momentarily. They will make Schofield TP top. However, down bottom, it is a Silencer Drow versus a Bloodseeker. You got to assume that as long as he doesn't die, K1 will still be favored a bit here.
Like, he just keeps also going for this first point up in Thirst. So, all right,
we know we're going to drop them low. If anyone else in any other lane has fights, like we've seen a lot from the mid lane, a hell of a lot from Beast Coast. It's always getting aggressive, and no one. He's a Dazzle though, so he'll be okay.
I love what they do. Like, Stinger actually salves K1 because his regen's not nearly as important. Disruptor could go suicide if necessary. Bloodseeker could not, which means he'll be able to stay in lane a bit more efficiently. Now that he's level 2, he'll actually be able to heal up. Top lane, a little bit of aggression. Rezo gets a nice side pull off. And I wanted to mention, a big thing for VP, they're having trouble adjusting to Rezo on the off lane. You've got what's effectively a 3-core lineup. What's an easy way to ensure every hero has a game? Pick a drow. All of a sudden, you've really got 3 cores, so long as they're all ranged heroes. Nobody really in that support role in this current lineup. And in theory, if they can do well in the lane, they'll be self-sufficient in all 3 lanes and then able to cruise with everybody effectively playing at 2.
Yeah, but so much of that damage, Stinger, he really is living life on the edge. Solo and Epi have 4 tangos between them, and they're actually, yeah, you see Solo's net worth just starting to drop down. He has 1 tango. That's all he has on him at the moment. Well, that's a good pick off on the Dark Courier. No one able to get it against Chris. The bottle did get delivered first, however, but that's still not the most ideal scenario. And Stinger's going to do his thing, denies himself up. Spends cash before death, and he'll come back to the lane ready to spam out again. Almost feels like the old Zeus's that would play this type of way too.
And it's great because he buys 2 mangoes and some extra regen, then comes back bottom. So you not just get that free fountain trip, but you're also now coming with even more resources to make yourself more formidable before the next time you would suicide.
All right, Solo, welcome to leaving the lane. He's got no life, and he actually kind of has to, because if he doesn't, K1 will just remain buffed up, so he cannot stay in the lane.
Where's he going?
To deny himself to a tier 2 tower, maybe? Hoping for a regen rune in 30 seconds? Maybe to help kill Chris Luck in mid, up on top. There's a lot of different options. Whisper, copping a lot of damage. And he actually is. He's going for mid lane. He's got Curse available. He starts off with the Glaives, however, and Chris is just going to avalanche Solo. The first blood's up on top lane, which will be Whisper going down, and Chris Luck instantly follows after. So, 2 different lanes. Solo now deny himself to the mid tier 2 tower. Resets up, makes it worth it.
And check out that mid CS, man. This is what I was talking about. No one, even before that kill, was putting in work. 600 net worth up on the Tiny at 24-7 to 19-3 in the CS. And Chris Luck, until he's 6, will have some real trouble here just because he's taking physical damage from the Dazzle Q and he has 0 armor. So easy for no one to pressure him here.
And now they've lost their buffs on bottom lane. K1's not having as great a time. Like, Disruptor can arrive, so what's he going to do? He's going to wall up, combo with the Blood Rite, dropping Silencer down. They even glimpse him back in again. K1 really thinking about pushing this underneath the tower. Epi's doing a lot of damage, however. But the armor, the chainmail that's there, really feels like you're not getting anywhere near enough damage in.
Oh, now Drow, you're in so much trouble. There's fighting happening in other lanes. Lesh is half HP. He's
they're going to wall him up again. Epi can't go anywhere. K1 can just keep going. As you said, because the fighting's happening in the other lanes, K1's just loving it. You'll have Save deny himself up, but Resolution's also quite low.
Top lane had a total of maybe like 200 health between them. So Bloodseeker with 2 points in Thirst is unbelievably powerful. And it's great because once you get those kills, you're getting a free creep wave, you're full HP on the Bloodseeker now, and you're going to collect all 4 bounty runes on the side of Beast Coast. Immediately they've equalized, and it's just like what they did to Fighting Pandas. Your win condition on Virtus Pro is currently level 3. He's got to now abandon the lane. The Drow has absolutely no game, much like the Morphling in the previous series.
But the advantage is that Dazzle's having a really good game. He just solo kills up the Tiny once again, sitting now at 2.9k in the net worth. But what does this go into? Once you have Necro Books, do you add more pressure? They're going to try and defend this tier 1 tower on bottom. Stinger copping a lot of damage from the tower, as well as the Curse. Tango regeneration will help him survive this, however. But Disruption out. Look for the follow-up split earth. Got to get the timing right. K1 connected on. Solo stays on top, and K1 can't do anything.
He buffed himself, unfortunately, right before that went down. So taking 10% more damage. Not a huge deal, but definitely significant.
Mid lane again.
He is.
Yep, no one can just chase under it. He knows it. Oh, Chris. Nice one charges, but the poison touch is more than enough to finish the job.
That was 40 damage per second, physical, almost doing pure until he's in range of the +3 bonus armor from the tower. Not a favorable matchup for Tiny whatsoever. I'm very surprised they didn't throw somebody else there, but honestly, who would? Whisper on the Pango, then you have a Tiny solo top. No matter what, no one was always going to body his opponent.
Here's the easy combination again. Disruption into Split Earth with a whole bunch of Edict damage.
Nice.
So Whisper will rotate himself down to the bottom lane. Bloodseeker's now up on the top.
Dire's middle tower.
Yeah, he's just following the drow.
Yeah.
He's now in the jungle. That's the one big bright spot here for Beast Coast. Even though they're a little behind in both matchups, other than the drow, he's still somewhat far away from level 6 and just really no game to speak of.
No one. Chris Luck going to start it off with the Avalanche, sets up a Skullfield to get that nice impale off with the toss-up, and no one still can survive through this. And with the curse support arriving from Solo, Skullfield.
Oh, he's dead.
That's a Spike Carapace, but yeah, he's used too many abilities and the Poison Touch. Chris is trying to help him up here, and it's enough. Yep, he'll live.
Bottom, they're looking to maybe make a move here on Rezo, but he just hit 6. He's got that casual bracer, big fan. And actually, he might even kill Stinger. Nope, glimpsed in time.
Pull him away, and so Resolution can't land the stun either. But Stinger doesn't have a TP scroll. Resolution's too focused on the farm instead. Top lane, K1's going to go again. The Rupture is out over on Silencer. Has to walk himself out of the blood right. Save, going to go for the disruption. Skullfeld still uncertain what he wants to do. Stinger will die in the meantime, but a nice spike. Carapace gets the following stun into the Silencer because he does have the curse on him. Solo will get the +2. He'll lose his life for it, but it won't stop K1 from continuously diving the save under the tier 1 tower. Support's coming in. K1 has to cut through the trees and now run away as no one will arrive in the lane. But this forces no one to TP out, so Chris will get a little bit of breathing room.
So you got Necro.
And Whisper. Time to Rolling Thunder. Turn it around. Shield Crash. Almost out of range. No break free to kill off Epic.
It's so demoralizing playing against good Pango players. You just can't, there's no escaping it. You can only hope to run away, but Whisper hits him with the double rock and then immediately finishes him off with one right click. Already with the Javelin. He's having a nice game. We'll finish Arcanes off this wave. And once again, Beast Coast, 3 heroes, all almost, well, top 4 in the net worth. No one's being a bit too bossy to think you can surpass him.
Virtus Pro can really punish. So yeah, you've got that attack over in mid, so that's problematic at least to say for the Drow Ranger, but at the same time, Nyx Assassin dies with Disruption on top. The Necro Book arrived, and this was really my question where I was kind of leading. No one, you get farm, what do you do? Level 1 Necro Book, he teams up with Resolution, and they start forcing buildings.
I like this a lot. I think a lot of Dazzles overspend. They go for like this double, no, they get Arcanes, they get one, they get all these, you just want a Necro ASAP, and that's exactly what no one did here. It allows you to pressure towers. You are so strong around the map, and because you have your ult up so early, I mean, the cooldown on Necro is what, how much? 66.5 seconds. They last for 60. It is by far your best tool for pushing towers, for farming, dealing damage in fights. Just get this up ASAP.
Bit of a problematic position for Resolution. He still does a hell of a lot of damage. Skullfield has to move away. Remember, he's ruptured up, and that's why Stinger's here. It's like, all right, we'll wall him, we'll attack him from range. Now K1's like, all right, I can come back in again. The Edict is gone. The Whisper, he's in trouble once more. No one solo and save, all chasing down this Pango. He has a hell of a lot of damage, however, but there's just no support because they were too busy killing Frezzo.
Man, admirable effort. He does preserve his mid tower for now, at least. The Necro will be up in just 10 more seconds.
Skullfeld, he'll need a Spike Carapace to try and save some kind of damage. Turn for a stun. Slows the creep wave, but the Poison Touch? Won't matter, he'll pop anyway.
Nice play there. Not bad.
They keep the tier 1 tower alive. It feels like the sacrifice they're willing to make.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. Look at the warding as from these two teams. VP all defensive, 4 wards assembled to guard the river line from the South American side.
And 4 heroes coming to the mid lane to also claim it. So you start the damage on Resolution. Fortification is not available, so that tier 1 tower is toast. As the Invis Rune Shadow Demon, who's holding the Tome of Knowledge in his backpack, starts with Disruption off, and then the jump. Whisper, really nice hit through the backlines, combining with the Impale. No one gets deleted so quickly, and Whisper, under the cover of that Rolling Thunder, just keeps bouncing around, never-ending chain stuns onto Resolution to bring him down too. And Virtus Pro pushing up into the high ground, felt confident enough, they put the Observer Ward down, then they lost their entire team. And the Necro books as well to make sure they don't kill the Nyx.
And you can see why the last pick Pango comes in, right? This is arguably the strongest mid-game team fighter in Dota, and you can see why here. Yeah, sure, you can open up on Stinger. There's 4 VP heroes here, but immediately Dazzle's dead. That means fight's over, and this Rolling Thunder hits how many times? A TP in from Ektar, and even deep. I mean, I guess this is a 5-on-4, so they lose the Disruptor, sure, but you just can't take that kind of fight if you're VP. You're not strong enough yet. Structures are fine, but the issue is, like, the Drow is not a real hero yet. He is just farming woods. That's all he can hope to do.
Like, that would be fun if this was the old Drow and the ulti worked on the Ancients the way it did before, but it's not. You don't really recover as fast.
Yeah, it's why he's not picked anymore, right? It's still here once in a while, but previously you get 6, you go farm this triple camp, you clear everything in 1 minute, no problem. Now you actually have to kill Ancient Creeps the old-fashioned way, and 2,000 HP is rather formidable when you're hitting for 90.
Yeah, especially if you don't even have your trades done just yet. So, like, it flies on the courier now, 3 Wraith Bands and the power trade. So farming gets a lot more efficient now for the Drow Ranger.
And you're gonna have to be concerned if you're VP right now, because yes, sure, you've got to, you're not behind necessarily, but look how squishy this lineup is.
Yep. That's why they're not fighting. Like, again, it's this top tier 2 tower push that's coming in. There's no fortification for the Dire side, so it will be a tier 2 tower for a tier 1 tower trade-off. Even this mid tower is taking a decent amount of time. Whisper's not helping, he's farming on the side. But they planted down Observer Wall so they see if a fight does come. And it looks like Virtus Pro, they're willing to take it. The Radiant is scanning, they know there's no one sitting in the backline trees. The courier actually gets sniped off.
And Maelstrom finished on Whisper. There's going to be so much damage output coming from him in tandem with this Bloodseeker, who's also got a Maelstrom of his own.
Good gust. Just getting that silence onto the next assassin. Spike Carapace has already been used. He'll get his stun off, but that's all. But already Beast Coast, they've left. They're going to the side lanes. Blink Dagger up.
You can see the circles. No one's effectively saying, look, guys, let's play around these wards in the enemy jungle. And Epikid, he's circling where he wants to be, which is these camps on the left top side of the map. No intention of joining any sort of engagement. He is effectively origami, and Beast Coast, they're turning the faucet on him whenever it's possible.
You really just make it like it's just a soggy paper reference. Is that what you were going for?
That's what I was going for.
Hey, I can't get the great folds of a normal origami. It's no longer art.
And you look at Beast Coast like this, they were to... I mean, it's cool how the same strategy has been refined over effectively the last, 8 years. But, Radiant play enemy jungle, Dire play enemy jungle, ward up around it, set traps, try and do what you can.
High res. Next assassin right behind him. Needs to start with a stun, but okay, they'll work with Chris Luck, and then a quick chain. That's the reveal of the Blink Dagger, but you'll take another kill on Resolution for sure.
And big issue right now, yeah, gold's even, but let's check out the XP graph if we can real fast. You've got 3 heroes almost level 12 on Beast Coast. Rezo is level 8. He's level 8. This is not where you want to be as a core Leshrac. Who has the most HP on this Radiant side? Their tankiest hero is a Dazzle at 1400.
Yeah, definitely not great.
Silence.
Yeah, Pango's having a hard time getting out of this one. He really needed to get that roll up, but couldn't do it. Tiny, good avalanche, looking for at least a revenge kill into solo. Toss any kind of tree, and he's looking for it. He's able to claim it. He claims it after death, however.
That means there's a +2?
That
or -2, depending on whether you think the glass is half full or empty.
Well, the -2s don't show up on the board, so we'll always look at it as a +2 because it's the only metric we can actually see. Another one of those easy requests we'd love to have. Put it on the spring cleaning list.
But even November.
Yeah, well, it could still be on the list.
And man, these Beast Coast heroes, it feels like they're one fight away from just taking over this fight. And yeah, now
here we go.
Hector's here. Get on out of here.
Hey, Rez! This is going to be your 4th death of the game. Rolling Thunder from Pango, jumping forward, making sure Leshrac doesn't even get the stun, and allows him to move forward, looking for another target, and the Drow Ranger. Again, Silencer comes in with the help of Dazzle. Bloodseeker having a very hard time. The Blood Right will kick in. K1 needs to find this kill so he can stay in the fight, but the Storm, as well as the wall, no one in Drow Ranger trapped in here, but where's the follow-up damage? Without the Bloodseeker, it's very difficult when the Pango does not hit that swashbuckle, but Chris Luck will try and do the work instead. Maybe if one more attack. Now, there he goes. Epikid will finally fall. SD did delay this. He'll end up dying as as well. He might bring Stinger down with him with the poison. It does actually connect and save one hit away. Chris Luck will do it. Resolution. It started with his death and it'll end with his kill if he can catch out Chris Luck. But there's no Yule Scepter, there's no control. Chris will just walk it off.
He's level 8, man. You're not making that happen. Then Chris Luck is level 2,000 HP, 22 armor.
So we lost. So everybody got to die apart from Chris.
Correct. And you can see there the issue with this VP lineup. The moment the Fox is in the hen house, there's nothing to do but panic. They had an active shrine. They had more numbers. They even killed the Bloodseeker right off the bat. It does not matter. They are simply too squishy as these backline heroes. The supports, there's nothing they can do. He even missed the swashbuckle, split the upgrades. Otherwise, that fight goes
here we go again.
Goes.
The wall's up, the observe ward on the hillside. It saw everything they needed to. And Solo at least gets the curse off. Doesn't commit the global silence, however. There's more support arrives. Whisper into the Rolling Thunder. Needs this to battle on top of Resolution. Gets the following chain stuns into save. Needs to get down this hill, however. The Blood Right comes in and the swashbuckle away to safety. No one ruptured up. They feel like going in. And Nyx Assassin, throw him in, turn on the spike. Carapace, get any kind of chain stuns you possibly can. But then Epikid sits on the high ground, does all the damage he needs to. Stinger, once again, trying to work it with Chris Luck, but they can't get it when defensive disruptions there from safe. Finally, they will do so. No one will fall once more. It's Chris Luck on the wrong side of the tracks. Turns to again for the avalanche toss combination. Where is his friend? Whisper comes in, gets the disarm on the Draw Ranger, but now with the swashbuckle, he's got it a little bit too deep. Tiny will definitely die, but his shield crushes himself down the hill and away to safety. Whisper. And Bloodseeker wasn't even involved, but he went back to farming a long time ago. It's like, I don't know what you boys want to do. I'm all for fighting, but maybe not just yet.
Big thing, I believe, there wasn't a blink on Tiny in that engagement, right? He just bought that. I think he was going Echo Saber first and just finished that plus the blink. Perhaps it was on the courier that died. No clue.
No,
but either way.
He had the blink in the previous fight.
Interesting. Why would he toss the Nyx in instead of tossing the Ruptured Dazzle out if that's the case?
Questions.
We'll check that out in the film study later.
He had the blink tag like 5 minutes ago. That's how they got the initial kill on Resolution.
You notice how net worth, it seems no matter how the game starts, somehow Beast Coast's 3 cores rise to the top as their 2 supports fall towards the bottom.
Beast Coast, now the masters of souffle.
It's really hard to make a souffle.
I know. That's why you gotta rise to the top.
Although that was the cream.
This is a nice. Oh, that's the cream of the crop. Draw Ranger with that double damage rune. They did Roshan so quickly, and they give the Aegis to Dazzle. As everyone comes in close, get rid of the Dire Observer Ward.
24-20. It is 18.5 minutes in. We've got 44 kills.
Love it. Love it. Give me more.
This is what I mean. VP, they're just like, we're done with this shit. Beast Coast, they're battlers. We're not having it anymore. You want to come and fight us? We're willing. And I don't necessarily think that that's a poor choice, because so far today they've looked nigh unstoppable. And I love Ector's farming patterns, man. He's just continuously clearing this triple camp, staying near his team. They don't want to fight right now into the Aegis. Plus, Solo's silence is active. That's huge. If you can interrupt this Pangolier ultimate, it buys them the time to perhaps find kills before the Rolling Thunder can come through.
Oh, no one won't get caught inside the wall, sending his Necro units up the hill to see instead. I also love no one scribbles across the map. He basically circled everywhere that wasn't his side of the map. And we need to control everything on the northern side of the river.
Doing their best. Again, no. This is also, I think, the right build from no one. Like the order, at least. I've seen sometimes people go like Necro 3 on Dazzle, but I really think you just rush that Necro because it's your acceleration item. It's almost better than a Midas. Then you go for all these team fight support items. The rush Necro 3 just kind of feels off. It's too expensive.
He knows the Sentry Wood is there. They already had that little dabble with Nyx, but the Spike Carapace ends up sending him back. But the Pulse Nova and the Edict damage with Global Silence. Nyx Assassin tries to use the Shrine to stay alive, but it won't happen. But so much damage has been done that now it's K1's turn just to kill everybody. He wants to try and catch up to Epikid. It won't work, however. He'll kill off the 2 supports instead, and then he can move himself over the Drow Ranger while the Storm Dazzle. Is he going to TP out? No, Chris Luck. He gets the Avalanche in time. No one under where the tier 2 tower used to be. Drow Ranger was at least able to get back to safety with no other sons to be able to just TP home. No one will not be so lucky. They'll break the Aegis of the Immortal. And once again, it feels like a team is very willing to fight into Beast Coast and very willing to die to Beast Coast.
It's this Bloodseeker, man. Stop giving him Bloodseeker. I can see there's some members of North American Dota in our chat right now, and they're all very aware of how this ends because almost anybody that queues on the server knows the pain.
They picked it second phase as well. They actually chose to ban out the Gyro and the Live Stealer instead of the Bloodseeker. This was a willing choice.
I'll take that.
It's just, man, this is, there it is. They've acquired all 3 cores of Beast Coast, top 3 in net worth. Solo soon to fall, and there he goes. Your draft's too squishy. I like the fight. I like the concept that VP was going for. But where's the beef, Toby? Where's the beef that can get in front and actually tank some of this damage and upfront spells from Beast Coast?
Wasn't it Alan that was bringing up that point? You get a Draw Ranger, you need to have a Centaur or something like that in the front lines, but it doesn't work with the way they wanted to lane it. They picked the Dazzle as the last one. They didn't push the Lesh to the off. I mean, they did push the Lesh to the off and didn't put him in the mid. It makes sense, but it really had such a heavy reliance that you can keep going. But they're not out of this fight. They're not out of this game just yet. We're acting like Beast Coast is going to win every single fight in the future. But the execution of VP, if it's good, they'll find Skullfeld over in the tree line. Resolution will claim him. And Resolution's getting tankier. He's moving towards the BKB after having the pipe.
But pipe into BKB?
I know.
Does that ever feel good?
Yeah, probably not. But hey, I'm trying to look on the bright side of life. Remember what the Monty Python boys always say.
That's a good point, good point.
Yeah, no one expects a Spanish Inquisition.
That is true.
A save, trying to come closer. Able to do so. The Glimmer Cape let him close the distance. A quick looks away by Stinger. Chris trying to have a little bit more time. The Purge slowing him down. And then with the Storm, they have to run around it. Lashraga, okay, here we go. Bloodseeker, it's time to fight. With a huge swashbuckle all over him is Solo, who got ruptured up. And they just shield crash their way in. Pango copying so much damage. They still need to focus Epikid at some point. Now Whisper will finally join in. The BKB Bloodseeker. Does he really want to rejoin this fight? I think it's about that time. No one's low. The tree toss going to be a little bit off target. Without the Pango, it feels like Beast Coast will give a little respect to VP.
Well, credit to VP. They recognize the critical kill here. It's the Pangolier. You'll watch. Really well played by Chris. Like, he had a haste rune this whole time. Waits for the Shutting out to proc because it's always purging. Boom. He's going to be able to get away. Nice try from Whisper, but that silence was perfect. He uses himself up in the air. Rezo is there to land the stun. They have got to kill the Pango before his ult comes off, or you have no hope whatsoever. They would have been completely cleaned up. Instead, they're forcing Hector back. They win a critical engagement, and Roshan will be spawning within the next 3 to 6 minutes. That's going to be the big engagement you've got to win if you're VP. But yeah, K1 somehow, he's 4K ahead of the game right now. This man is unstoppable.
Well, it's because he doesn't really die that much either. Like, he's 11-2. Hey, you lose the Pango. But this is what we saw from Beast Coast earlier today. Supports will die.
Yeah.
K1 does not. And he did back out of that fight. It felt like maybe a little earlier. Maybe he could have got into the back lines and done a little bit more. But if he dies, VP gets so much.
The problem is, the big concern with VP, look at the itemization of the 3 cores, right? You have Pipe BKB on Rezo. There's no damage there. Your Drow has just a Hurricane Pike.
Yeah, but she needs that too.
No, but for what?
She needs a repositioner from the attacks of Beast Coast.
From Ruptures? How do you juke Rupture? How do you juke Glimpse?
I suppose if Tiny also jumps you as well, you're going to get hit by Avalanche.
You don't need a positioning tool. You need the ability to deal damage. Your Dazzle has Greaves and a Necro. This is not a lineup that can afford to just go pure defensive because there's nothing you can itemize for that will allow you to survive Beast Coast. You need to have so much damage that a one miscue or perhaps advantageous positioning, a nice silence on the high ground, you have to win this fight within the silence, but no one's dealing damage.
Issues galore. 25-minute runes are about to spawn. Skullfeld, Resolution once again. Feels like he's always the starter of this. They triggered the global silence. This is a huge thing for Beast Coast because now Pango can Rolling Thunder if he can join the fight. They're already in the way. Lashrak has to BKB nice and early on, but all these low heroes, but it's K1 who gets focused down by Epi. They do get the 5 stuns, but now Whisper rolls through a 3-man disarm into a secondary shield crush. Epikid, he's kept alive by the shallow grave, but he's brought over towards Stinger, who should be able to finish the job. Actually, he does almost no damage, but yeah, with the help of Whisper, they bring him down. But underneath the shrine, a glimpse, goodbye save. His illusions can remain. Whisper kind of trapped, another jump forward, another shallow grave. Solo surviving. Skullfeld, the curse will wear off as he TPs away to safety. And Beast Coast, this time around, they bought off more than they can chew.
Sick play there from VP. One, advantageous positioning. They've got vision, they've got high ground edge. Drow's in a great position to just turn around and kill Bloodseeker, who got BKB off, but because of the Shadow Demon Purge, doesn't matter. All of a sudden, there's 3 heroes right-clicking you. You're going to go down anyway. Really good target selection there. And Whisper, of course, just a bit too late coming into the fight. Beast Coast love these fights where they show you 2 heroes as the other 3 come in and try and pincer. That time just not quite lined up in terms of the timing.
You know, the funny thing is, though, the money went to save. Like, he got, I think it was about 500 gold for killing off the Bloodseeker. He already had Glimmer Cape, now he's got Ether Lens and he's going for the Blink Dagger. So we've got some good... it really worked out, but it's a save mechanism. Helpful for the Shadow Demon. Trying to battle against the Nyx Assassin, who was on a scouting mission, still walking right underneath the sentry ward. 4 staff down and away, has no vendetta, has no real way to stop apart from a good impulse on into resolution. But that's 2 heroes chasing the Nyx into the trees, who's already regenerating and actually gonna walk it off.
And he lives there because the warding from VP, while solid, it doesn't see any enemy heroes. And they've learned their lesson at this point. You don't want to chase supports for too long against this team, because all of a sudden you'll be walking into one of those booby traps and 3 of your heroes have died and you've given away an objective and things get scary. Nice sentry ward. Stinger, he should check high ground here. He will do so with the courier. Nice job. He'll grab that ward.
Oh, we added a plus 600 to the cast range now of Bloodseeker for his Rupture. Let's actually update the circle. It feels like that is still not big enough, the circle on the Bloodseeker. All right.
Roshan spawning in 155. That'll be the big fight. And again, Beast Coast, they're down in kills once again. They're down in towers, but they're ahead in gold significantly. And a big part of that is just that they continuously ensure that Hector, he always gets this Maelstrom first Bloodseeker. And we've seen there were 3 or 4 fights. He's just farming. Maybe he'll rejoin if he gets that 700 MS and he's nearby, but otherwise he's going to focus on acceleration. If we once again check out the last hits, it's still 3 cores from Beast Coast in the top. Like, they're just farming more efficiently. That's where they're grabbing this edge. Kills are not nearly as important as creeps nowadays in the new Dota 2.
But it's still, Beast Coast take both of them. Pressure being applied to bottom. Chris will always be there to mop up. Going in for the full Daedalus tree volley. VP, you want to try Roshan? Sure.
Another example of an Ags that just... I love tree volley, cool. But why do the trees have to slow, Toby?
Why do they have to take the effect of the Echo Saber?
What? Who thinks these things up?
Geniuses. Geniuses, I say. Gotta get out of range of that sentry ward. Nyx Assassin still doesn't have the supports coming in from the Tiny. A little too close. There's the volley trying to create some space, hitting into resolution pretty hard. But not hard enough, but now they smoke up. Virtus Pro, 5 heroes together do it.
Yep, 30 seconds on
Bloodseeker
Rush.
was pushing the top lane. But look where Disruptor is. Stinger is looking, waiting, breaks the smoke, puts down defensive wall, and now just continues to run. The Observer Ward did see which way he did run, but he's coming to his own Observer Ward, so he can battle inside of vision.
Sick. That is so good. And now
Care with
Rupture going
Courier.
off.
Care with Courier as well. That thing just delivered. It's going straight over the top of everyone else. The Rupture is out. Resolution. Good Storm in the back lines. There goes your save. If they can keep the Suns going, Global Silence returns around, and maybe now with the Shallow Grave, save can do some work. Purging over onto K1. They're bouncing around Roshan. Finally, Epic Kid. He's going to be used up and then brought down on the fall. Chris Luck finding that kill. And Bloodseeker's so lucky. Misses uphill from solo. So K1's able to survive, but the battle continues. Resolution begins his own TP. Glimpse is available at TP. He got to go home for half a second to say goodbye to the family. And now Roshan is opened up for Beast Coast.
That's just really good. Beast Coast recognized, look, we gotta kill the Shadow Demon. So they do. He gets the Purge off, but K1, he had preemptively popped BKB and he has a linkage. There's no way they can break that, so the Purge doesn't even go off. I like Rezo's choice to just stand and fight, but his team wasn't close enough. You're not gonna win these split engagements as VP. You need that 3 to 4 second window to kill one of these Beast Coast cores. They're just too tanky. Drow still doesn't do anything, Toby.
She was so isolated from the rest of her team, she could never do anything. Like the fights where Drow Ranger seems to just have this good time is when Beast Coast have fought underneath shrines. It won't be the first time they'll do it this tournament. It definitely won't be the last. But she's able to sit on this high ground and become that big cannon from long range. But Beast Coast have cottoned onto this now. They have so many different ways to close the distance, make sure she can't get her damage out. The Dazzle is having to self-grave. Solo, I think, has actually become one of the big things that have slowed down Beast Coast. I think his global silence timing has been perfect. And it's really caused Beast Coast to be a little bit more cautious about their ability spam. But it's still so hard.
It's the same story in like both series this game, where Beast Coast, they have their one position, the win condition, having a great start, top of the net worth charts, and the enemy one has such a poor start that at some point in the game he's doubled up in net worth and has next to no impact. Like a Drow having to go pike BKB. There's no DPS there, Tobes.
Like we've got double Aghanim Scepters. The second one has now arrived. It's over on Pango. BKB defensive from Resolution. That's his 8-second one to stop the glimpse back. But Whisper's damage has now been massively amplified. Tiny's already got his huge one, thanks to the full Daedalus completed.
Just wait till Whisper starts to make moves. He has that Ags picked up along with the Diffusal and the Maelstrom.
Pull him back up, and this time it's going to be Solo. He'll get the shallow grave. I don't know if that's enough to get him back. Someone got a 4-star? Someone got some way to save him?
No. And Whisper also, he has the talent for the 2-second shield crash in Rolling Thunder too. So if he gets that spell off, you're in so much trouble. Bottom lane, Extra's forcing TPs inside the base.
Yeah, already the rush. Oh my god! The volley save had no chance to survive this, and Whisper's just rolling, thundering around, swashbuckling as he goes. And Resolution's run back in. Silenced up, slowed up, and then glimpsed back over. He has no BKB for protection, just the shallow grave. But look at Chris playing from the side, exactly where he wants to be with that volley. Resolution has to buy back, so does Solo, to try and repel Beast Coast from the base. But they've got so many buybacks and the tier 3 tower, but you know this is Beast Coast. They want to keep fighting a little bit more. Solo, the shallow graves from no one. He's playing like a support. There's no damage from him. That has to come from Epic Kid. They get the damage out, but it kills not only the Aegis, the Immortal Bloodseeker. Solo gets swung by Bark, and another glimpse. Resolution, BKB or not, shallow grave or not, he is totally dead. And I think with it, the hopes of this game, that's the second time I've seen K1 DX.
It's not even worth the XD. You get a DX.
It's the other way around. And he's trying to volley in. Chris.
Let's try to kill him in the fountain.
My God. There is such shenanigans. You haven't even taken a second lane of Rax yet, guys. I know you feel confident. And Chris wants to go. His volley just came back off cooldown.
Oh no, he's getting towards the trees.
Yeah, be careful. Turn around. Whisper needs to land the sun. And now no one. Boom, boom, boom. BKB. He'll move up.
Team?
He's TPing out. What is this? K1's like, am I the only one playing objective-based gaming? In Dota, you have to kill these things called racks, which give you advantages in lanes.
I think they may have been expecting a GG there, but VP, I think this might be their last game of the day. They don't want to end it just
look at
yet.
SD go. It's like, I'll TP out. If I get, oh, wait. Oh, yeah, went the other way. He needs to purge, catcher, and buy time for Draw Ranger to catch up. Okay, ain't happening. Okay, we get to we just get to watch the feed. I love how we have these 5-second clips that we just jump to. It's just like, well, what exactly is this? Well, this is Beast Coast.
And just solid Dota 2, man. Again, it feels to me like Beast Coast, they're a different squad when they're in their comfort zone. In their drafts yesterday, a bit unconventional, not really. You didn't feel the same way. When you see Hector playing these Bloodseekers, these Wraith Kings, when Chris Luck is on his TAs and his Tiny, like it's just a different squad. And Whisper could quite possibly be, he's definitely the best offlaner in his region, but I think you could make an argument that he's one of the best 5 in the world right now. Definitely going to this upcoming major. But we'll see what happens when the big guns come out of their mini retirement throughout the winter, hibernating until that second major.
That's when we see the real test happen as the team fight's already going to begin. Leshrac up next to the Bounty Runes. That's what they started to fight over. No one. And backlines, Chris trying to get some of this damage out, but he can't do it. He's in the middle of 4-5 heroes from Virtus Pro, dead for 100 seconds. And a jump forward, Leshrac, Spike Carapace stunned up. He couldn't really get himself free of that one. They need to keep him controlled with a shield crush, bouncing through a little bit too deep there for the Pango, and he's actually kind of trapped on the edge of Roshan's cliff, and maybe Beats Beast Coast, were you too aggressive? This game was not in the bag yet. K1 is going to try and put it there, going after Silencer, but the Shallow Grave will end up protecting him, and Beast Coast will back off. Oh, the jump. If that Shallow Grave ended half of a second earlier, it would have been enough.
Tiny has a basher.
Yes, he does.
Not a BKB, mind you.
No.
Who needs one of those?
Yeah,
Against Silencer and Leshrac.
Yeah. It's like, I just need an Abyssal Blade. I need to be in the middle of 5 Virtus Pro heroes. At least I have my trees, but I can't volley because I get silenced. Issues. And now K1. Trouble for him. Already burned the mana style. Look as if it's been broken. BKB TP out, and the damage is put to the test by Virtus Pro. And we found wanting. But their immunities are down, like, it's 5 seconds on these BKBs. It's one of those few games where you're like, hey, Disruptor, you actually don't need an Aghanim Scepter in this game.
Maybe Beast Coast just felt bad. They're like, look, we have more kills than the enemy. We don't want to win and outscore them. Want to make them feel like they had a fighting shot. However, now it's time to maybe regroup, wait for 5, perhaps finish this AC on the Bloodseeker. He'll be completing that in just a moment. Then look to go take that full 5-on-5 engagement. Hex also about to be completed by no one. That could change things around. As this Drow lineup continues to scale, they're going to do some serious damage. It is 5 ranged heroes. Blink now picked up on Epikid as well, so they gotta abuse positioning. You gotta fight around this Silencer ultimate, but you do have the damage. You can make something happen here. It's just gonna require you outplaying your opponents.
So Assault Kuros up. The Gem of True Sight is gonna be very valuable now on Nyx Assassin. No surprises. Whisper's trying to push in through the top lane. Has Tiny decided to change his item build at all? No, he has not. There, so we've got 2 bashes. In the tree lines, Drow Ranger. Looking for their own target. Just a couple of illusions of Bloodseeker scouting out the Rupture. Over on Silencer. Man, he takes so much damage, getting pushed away by the Rolling Thunder. No, Whisper! Jump yourself down! Never go full RTZ. The BKB will not protect Dazzle. He has to Shelly Ravens up. Epikid on the run. K1 before start forward by the Nyx Assassin. Keeps that distance nice and close for K1. 3 heroes down. That's a little bit of composure, and they get the GG call out. Beast Coast will get a 4-0 record for day 2 of ESL 1, wearing their 0-4 of day 1.
I said they needed advantageous positioning, and then all of a sudden Beast Coast pop them in the jungle. They have nowhere to turn.
So I believe you just say, oh, all right, this is your Rosh. Unless Tidehunter starts rotating in.
He's going to be too late now if they walk in the pit. They're hesitant though.
Yeah, they're super hesitant. But they shouldn't be, considering they saw Tidehunter move bottom.
They should know what's going on here, but instead, they actually wrap around the back of him. They want to kill Xiao Yu. Throw it in. You haven't got a Quelling Blade, you had it in your backpack. Silence does get purged off instantly though, a little bit mistiming there. Mastermind chasing in. Ravage is expended. Now you're happy actually, you could just go back towards Roche at this point.
They used Chrono, they used Ravage, they used 2 big ultis very, very defensively, and instantly Viking GG, they go straight into the pit.
DY. We'll just throw out the disruption, but you need to back up. Accept that this is happening, whether you like it or not. Roche should be going away. And actually, the Silence Void, he's going to get caught here. It's going to get pretty low. We'll be able to time walk away just in time. But Mastermind has to move to proceed with the Yules. Split that ball up as well to ensure that he will fall, despite the time dilation. Nope. 1 tick was needed. And they're saw enough. He's going to stay alive. And Viking, they're wasting a lot of time here when they should be in the pit.
And meanwhile, Storm Spirit snatches the raid. snatches Rune of Regeneration just in front of that Wraith King as he moves into the pit to attack Rosh.
Because they were like, I get what they're doing, right? They're like, we kill him and then we'll have the Deso complete and it makes sense anyway. But just take the easy objective. Don't strain yourself and all the things you have to do in this game.
They're definitely trying to go for more complex options, but when you have Orchid on Nature's Prophet, an attempt for a kill is, you know, it's plausible.
No, they catch a kill, Keep will go down, but they've got the Aegis now. Frost doesn't mess up an armor toggle this time, it's all good.
Cube was creating some space there, definitely, as he falls to Storm. But yeah, they get enough space to go and take down Roshan. They got the Aegis, they got Dezo now flying out to Wraith King too.
Should ramp up pretty rapidly from here. Next time they can just jump on yours and actually blow him up pretty easily. Would be nice to see a Blink Dagger soon on Frost though, because he does have the means to burst into these heroes who catch him with the initial stun. Chase in, full lightning coming out, Wyvern dragged back. Does have to win his curse, but they're splitting up enough that he can't use it at all. We'll finally throw it out onto the Storm Spirit. They have got the Wraithfire Blast, arrow through as well. Stack your stuns with the silence there, Storm is dead. Buyback comes out from Wyvern, DY will look to escape, but the Yules is on point, ensuring he will not get out. And they're going to keep hunting. There's another Yules. They're moving in. Split up going to come out, and they have the follow-up Wraithfire Blast. This time, Void is going home in a body bag.
Yeah, I just love the way Viking GG are playing. Bone 7 on a triple kill with this Orchid, definitely paying off. As that Orchid and 3.7k gold. He could actually have a mini Doom very soon. If he buys that Nullifier before the blink, he could just be a Doom on his own, porting wherever he wants to. And Storm Spirit, that was a good attempt from him to take down Winter Wyvern, and he did it, but at that last hit, he stood in the spot for a bit too long. He got clipped by Winter's Curse. Once you get clipped by Winter's Curse, you're as good as dead. Yep. They have way too many spells to follow up with. I believe one mistake was Shadow Demon using that Disruption a bit too early there.
Ravage is fairly early actually, because Storm Spirit is on the return, Wraith King the target, but he's got so many lives to work with. It's not the one you wanted, and Zhao Yu sprouted in, gets caught like this again, but they don't have the damage to follow up. Yep. He's on half HP.
What's happening with Vici Gaming? They're using these big spells for targets that they shouldn't be using them for.
They're testing their buttons, seeing if they work. On the back line, there's a snipe out. Mirana will go down. Frost, Armlet, Toggler trying to escape. The Chrono connects under 2, and that's going to be the Aegis going. 100 seconds without Reincarnate. They can punish this now. Wraith King has no support. And a turnaround. I mean, you say what the hell's happening? I'll tell you what's happening, Liz. Vici are putting themselves back in the game.
Yeah, they took down Wraith King, what, 3 times in the fight? Pretty good, pretty well played by Vici Gaming. They did waste the Shadow Shaman wards and
they used everything.
The Ravage, but at the same time it was for a good cause, because Storm Spirit and Void, they just needed that little bit of extra time to port on the shrine and stab them from behind. Storm instantly takes out Cube out of equation, then Void jumps in with a Void Walk to easily deal with the Winter Wyvern and the Wraith King. I think if you're Winter Wyvern in this game, you need to get some mobility or Aether Lance as soon as possible. You need to be mobile enough to not get chronoed, but also to be near your teammates so that you can use your Cold Embrace and Winter's Curse. If you're in position, this game is much, much easier for the side of Vikings GG.
No, it's definitely a little slip up in the road, and it costs them dearly. Big net worth swing back towards even Stevens here after they built up a nice 6k lead.
Ori, there is Orchid plus Nullifier.
Mini Doom has got the damage that I don't know if he has. Maybe with an Nature's Wrath, but there's a save from DY on point. And panic mode. He's like, give me some assistance. Mastermind's coming in right now. Split up, connects on the 2. The turnaround opportunity, the arrow through as well, not even needed, because PYW is hitting the deck as well. And they'll be able to take the tier 2 after taking 3 heads of Vici.
Got him, man. Viking GG showing up, man, in this game, playing really well against Vici Gaming. After they lost that first match, they're definitely performing much, much better, and their draft is allowing them to do so. And look at this push. They push so fast with the Lash, with the Diabolic Edict. This tower is going to fall in a matter of seconds. Storm has no buyback. Shadow Demon has no buyback. That's not only the tower that rises.
The Shaman, he just brought back. That's a long time on the sideline. 70 seconds without a main source of control for you. Luckily, there's still a tier 2 in the mid, so they won't take more.
It's a little bit difficult to run through their base and go straight towards the top tier 3, so instead of doing that, they move back, they outpush top, perhaps catch Void.
No, he gets out range.
Yeah. Bone 7 was stuck in the trees actually right there.
Yeah, he could have came from the top, right, and been very close to the void to begin with.
Usually when you're on Furion, you want to make other people stuck in the trees. You don't want to root yourself, but you know, Bone 7 sometimes forget which side he's playing for. And
he's a tree daddy. He's got to keep a good relationship with the trees themselves, and they'll only follow his orders if he's
as long as he spawns trees, that's all he cares.
Exactly.
As long as he makes some trees. Happy little trees everywhere.
He's not going to make insane amounts. There's no plans for Ag because we are getting full right click at this rate. I mean, he's had that Blink Dagger Q for a long time, but he's like, Silver Edge. Silver Edge is the way. Because then he can even kill the Watermelon Man himself. With the combo of the Mini Doom plus the Silver Edge break.
I wouldn't mind seeing some utility from him at this point, at least.
No, this is a Bone show.
He's going for the Bone show, indeed. He's just going for solo pickoffs everywhere. And you could see, even on that storm, he brought him down quite low. It wasn't enough just from him, but a BKB, I think, would be really good for him as the next item.
Yeah, he's already geared up now. Meanwhile, on Wraith King land, AC makes sense, benefits the Nature's Prophet, especially with this build, and a smoke movement coming in. As you do have that blink on Frost, initiation should be fairly easy. But look at this positioning from Vici.
Yeah, there's a BKB completed.
Arrow.
Now.
All right, Xiao Yu is in that mode. They're in trouble. DY is fairly far forward. They ping him out straight away. No Arrow. He'll go for the TP out, but he can't make it. Yours is there. Hex are trying to slow down Wraith King, but they're ready. DY is very ready. Blood everywhere, in fact.
It doesn't matter, though. It's when you die like that as a Shadow Demon, you broke their smoke, you broke their surprise effect pretty much. Your teammates are back, and as long as no one else gets caught out, you're happy. That
You will lose another tower, though. Which is worrying, because what this now does, when you think about what happened last time when they were on your high ground, you've given Viking a point where if you lose one fight, they take the entire base now.
Stop playing Ori. Oh, they messed up.
Oh. It's okay. There's an arrow and stuff, and not enough stuff, so Ori says see ya.
He has Yules as well. They couldn't kill him after they messed Nullfire. They need Nullfire to take down Storm. He has Yules to deal with the Orchid, so you just need to let Furion initiate first, or at least not stack the Yules plus the Nullfire.
Slight mishap. Won't hold them back too much. Roche up potentially in about a minute and a half. And I like that they're just fixating this high ground again. Viking like, we've got vision down here. We can farm here in the meantime. Just force Vici to the bottom side of the map, far, far away from the pit, so they're not prepared. Actually, you can already see the stretch of the map, because this is a game where we got boots of travel on Mastermind. So they're able to get away with this. They have so much global presence on the side of Viking.
He had it like travels quite a long time ago. He bought it just because he's playing with the Furion. Furion can set up anywhere on the map, and then you can follow up with Lash. It's a really good item to have.
And that's the thing, right? With the Mirana Roma as well, it just allows you to be anywhere and everywhere. Global presence is important. It's a big reason why Ember Spirit is probably the most sought-after core at the moment.
On the right side of the map, we have 4 members of Vici Gaming playing in their own jungle, but now they have to TP back towards top, as it's probably the best time to take back your jungle, your triangle, as Roche is about to spawn.
Oh, and Cube just went bot for... There's no runes.
Now, he went bottom because Furion was about to port for Ori, so he's pretty much just providing backup, that's all.
But they'll realize where Ori is. This should be the moment where he just TP's out. Yeah, they're a little bit too late.
It's a bit too late. You can understand the plan, the execution just wasn't there. It wasn't on point. Bone 7 was hesitating a little bit to TP in, but he should be more active he should be using his port more freely, as he has that Blink Dagger to work with. You have Blink, you have Nullfire, you have Orchid. You can definitely take down a Storm and TP a little bit further away from him. He won't see that coming.
And if you want to make that play, maybe just set up some of the classic Tinker Wards, right? Because they work against
That's also a good idea. Yeah, that's
way.
also a good idea. Tinker Wards versus a team that's split pushing you is always good. They are always good. Also, Roshan has spawned, so some wards around this pit could be good too.
That's the problem. You let your eye off the ball for a moment, you surrender that high ground, and as a result, with Roshan now being up, Vici are in with a chance to find you here. They do have the big ultimates after all.
Yeah, and Vici Gaming Like, they did lose a couple of fights, but they're not out of this game for sure. You have the Vlad's Solar Crest on Tidehunter. He will bring a lot of utility to Faceless Void, who has...
Here comes the clash. Frost blinks in, pretty aggressive straight away. DY tanks the arrow. Will go down for it. Xiao Yu try to get in the way, but he can't. Yu to get him out of the fight. Shadow Demon with the buyback. He has a long way to walk. But Frost will back off. They got the Serpent Wards out the side of Vici. One of their big ultimates down.
Yeah, Void was thinking about using that Chrono. He had multiple chances to use it, but you can't, as you don't see Winter Wyvern. The moment Winter Wyvern is in vision for Storm to jump on, then you can actually think about using that Chrono offensively on some Leshrac or Wraith King even.
This is why we've seen a few teams, when they see a Void come out, they go for the double count of Shadow Demon and Wyvern, because there's so much for you to do, it's impossible. And just Wyvern alone is achieving so much. Flash on point in this game so far.
On point with runes as well, as he finds the double damage. He also has a massive Pydas, which he will use now on the Carti, getting closer to that AC. 4,000 gold instead.
The things. Ravage comes out straight away to Mastermind. Hexed up with Shackle for long range. They should be able to bring him down. Now the jump in. They've got Chrono opportunity. Connect to the two. Looking on the bone. Went for this last kind of build, but the Combrace protects him. Let's see what the Winner's Curse is going to throw it out now. They'll look to reset because the buyback from Mastermind. Buyback from Cube as well. Disruption. Hides one, but Tidehunter now in trouble. He has no Ravage to protect himself. Time Walk to get one out. But because of that fight, yes, you get the buyback, but you just surrendered the pit. BKB, Eurus. Needs to escape. Time Walk after the big crit and will TP away. It looks like he'll be successful in doing so, but you just gave up Aegis and Cheese.
Most likely you did. Yeah, most likely you did give up Aegis and Cheese. You can't fight them. There's double damage from the Wraith King Desolator. Your Tidehunter could buy back, but now he spends his gold instead, finishes the fight.
And what's the point?
And, I mean, you did force the buyback on Lesh, which is something. It's not horrible.
So it's not really a win condition now that he's going to have an Aegis, right?
Now that he has an Aegis, it's definitely not a win condition, at least in the next 5 minutes, right? Until it expires. So they have to chill a bit. They have to play the split push pick-off game. They used quite a lot of their resources. They used the Chrono, the Ravage, pretty much everything.
This defense will definitely be heartless. And, well, Viking, they know it. They're not going to let up. They move towards the base immediately. No Chrono for 70 seconds. And even when you've got your tied up, no Ravage for 70 either.
Yeah, they just need to find a way to defend or maybe take down these supports that don't have buybacks any longer. That could be huge for them.
But lockdown is lacking. Shaman, he's not feeling confident about moving too far forward. Hex comes down to Frost. Silence. Now Nullify as well. Void. Need to get him out of here. Disruptor to save his life. They haven't got the stun either. Serpent Wards go down. He moves away with the Time Walk. Now the Dragon on the Mastermind trying to get rid of that life. They've already expended Wraith Kings. He backs up. Mastermind gets protected by the Cold Embrace. X brings down the Aegis. They're holding Vici, making this happen. They ping out. They want to try for a kill here. Arrow to protect him. Does get rid of Shadow Demon for the moment, but now they're moving the Axe Smash. Mastermind is not master over life, only over death. And Eris chasing out, looking for more, but that's immediate back. But I can say we're done here.
I think I'd call Storm master of that here. Or maybe this Void who's chasing Wraith King in the river. Wraith King dies the second time. He had the cheese there to work with, but why waste it? You're most certainly dead anyway. And this is a problem. Like, you have that Aegis, you have that, but you don't have buyback on Lesh. And if he does manage to die twice, suddenly you're playing without a Lesh for the 70 seconds, which will allow Vici Gaming to completely take over the Dari jungle, perhaps push a couple of tier 2s as well. And yeah, the team fight, you think Viking GG should win it because there's no big spells on the side of Vici Gaming. That's true, but when you're pushing high ground, it's very difficult to go for these kills without actually getting a couple of pickoffs first. Storm zips in, goes to Fountain. Zips in, goes to Fountain. He deals way too much damage. Ori just destroyed them.
And you jump the gun because of that window that was mentioned, right? Where there's no Ravage, no Chrono. In reality, if those things are online, Viking would have fallen back to their base strategy. You push in all the lanes and you split them across the base. But because they don't do that, they focus all their efforts on one location and make the defense so simple for Vici.
That's definitely very well put. It happens so many times. Like, a team is just way too eager to take their advantage, you know, and just exploit it to the fullest. And usually you become way too greedy in those situations, and that's exactly what happened here. I can't blame them. Having Aegis, having Cheese, and knowing that they don't have any big ultis, you expect to be able to take something away, but not only tier 3. Sadly for them, Vici Gaming, they're just a strong team, such a strong team, especially when it comes to defending high ground, that they know exactly what they have to do, and they did it. They executed marvelously well there. Storm Spirit and also Shadow Shaman playing that really well. With that, Aether Lance is able to shackle people a mile away, just keeps you disabled forever.
It's kind of that conundrum when you're like, I am in control. But the fact you have to keep telling me you're in control means that you're worried about something. And because they put themselves on the clock, Vi can get punished and things calm down. They still have a net worth lead. So there is a concern because Mastermind, it's not as bad as last game, but he's fallen behind all the other cores again. By a decent margin. And when you get to the super late game, what have you got on Vici? You know, you get this Storm Spirit and this Void. What's your comparison on Viking? Wraith King and a Nature's Prophet, who we've seen can be blown up in an instant because he is basically a glass cannon. He doesn't have his braces anymore, Liz.
He sold his braces. They took away his bracers. Now he's not nearly as strong as before when it comes to sustain. Has none of that utility that we talked before too. But if you get something like an Abyssal on Wraith King or a Hex on Furion, suddenly you have that burst damage as well and control.
That I have you now moment.
Exactly, you can catch them off guard. You can kill off Storm or this Void fairly easily. The only problem is the Lincolns that Storm has bought again. Or he definitely likes this item.
Yep, can use it for himself. Most likely in this game he will, but he could use it for the Void if need be as well. Especially if you're going to lead the way, because remember, what has been stopping Void from fighting? Winner's Curse. What do you do when he BKBs? You Winner's Curse, but not if there's a Lincolns on him in this game. So that might be the play. Look how deep you are on the Winter Curse here himself. Flash. He's waiting for something.
Could have used a Shadow Demon there to take him down, but then you were wasting that ulti.
Alright, this is a ball. Get the hell out. See you later, guys. Done my part. I'm going to flap my wings and fly away.
You probably won't have Wraith King up front to eat that
Arrow gets dodged out by the Time Warp forward. The Chrono's going to be there. The Sprout, they're interrupting the Yorks as well. The Ravage fell off. Using the Y with everything to kill off Flash. Insta buyback. He drops a gem on the ground. Now the side. Silence coming out. Looking for the target. We can't get him. He's dead. No, Storm is gone. Storm is down. Ori out for the count. The buyback's coming in. Prophet looking to get involved with the fight again. And Mastermind chases down with the BKB. Finds PYW. Blink away. All the way away from Frost. But the chase is through. The Nullifier is out. Shadow Demon slowed down. The Ray Fire Blast follow up as well. He's going to hit the deck. He doesn't have buyback.
Shadow Shaman. Buybacks, but there isn't really a whole lot that he can do. I think they will force the Storm to buy back too, as this is a high ground defense that they have to make. There we go.
They do it again. I'm not sure. They haven't got the wards this time around. Hex coming out. Wraith King being slowed down a little bit, but he has the reincarnate. And Bone has joined the fray.
They don't have the wards. They don't have Chrono. They don't have Ravage.
We've seen this too often. We've seen Vici pull off miracles. This will be the hardest moment of the game for them. As Frost is relentless in his attacks on these buildings. Arrow! Void! Yes! That's the win for them in the game. He has got buyback, but he can't afford to go down like this. Not like this, not this way. He'll be able to move away.
Yeah, they
and
can
Smash saves the day.
Damage versus that Butterfly, and they're forced back, but they got what they came for. They took second side away from Vici Gaming, and Viking GG, they're keeping us on the edge of our seats.
What will happen next, Liz?
Really well, yeah.
Anything could happen next. You know what will likely happen next is Roche. In a minute and a half, it could be up. And when it is, here is the critical moment in this game, because Vici Gaming will have all their big ultimates.
What likely is going to happen is Ori is going to cry real hard that he bought Lincolns instead of BKB. I think that BKB would be amazing for him. Or maybe he can get BKB and Lincolns, as he has that BKB queued up next.
But because he wants to win, he will not drop his Lincolns on the ground and deny it.
Maybe to prove a point.
No, this isn't fighting pandas.
Just prove a point.
It's Vici here. Composed team. Organized team. You said they're like a family. Friendship. They must work together to overcome the power of Viking. And Viking right now, well, they definitely got the gonads in a vice. This is not an easy situation for Vici. Especially when you consider the buyback status.
The way they went, like the way Vici Gaming went into that fight around their shrine, it looked like they knew exactly what they're doing. And it did start off well, that Chrono to kill off Winter Wyvern, Ravage connected on multiple heroes, and then they could fight afterwards. But the problem was Ori, he jumps so deep, he gets his Lincoln's pop, and he gets silenced before he's actually used the ball lightning again.
The arrow was just the nail in the coffin as well. And now Ori is leading the charge. Smoke movement. They want someone to connect on, and Bone, he did buy back, so you can't get caught out like this. The pings come out, he'll back away. Need to reset, reposition, because Vikings still have control of the high ground here. It's going to be a long spawn. 3 minutes until Roshan is up.
Yeah, they see Ori, so really stay on that high ground any longer. Instead, they use Vanish, they use Mana's Moonlight Shadow, and then they move towards bottom bounty runes, where they expect someone to come.
Oh, Ori. He's not going to fall for it, he says. He'll go for the TP out. The cube doesn't have the arrow, doesn't have the vision. He went a little bit too far. He did have the Yules primed and ready, but of course there's that Lincoln's you have to pop as well.
So at the same time, Rasta took the other bounty and TP'd away. So they wasted a lot of Viking GG's time, and at the same time, they managed to snatch a bounty rune. But another smoke from Viking GG.
Yeah, they just saw Zhao Yu in the mid, and they know there has to be someone behind him. The pings come out about PYW. You are fighting into the high ground, but you know how split they are.
PC Storm. This could be huge for them. He has no buyback, remember.
Ori.
He's working with that. Oh.
Arrow! But then he connects! That's the condition. They could get him right now. They're going to follow up. There's going to be split up. Trying to save him. Nice dodge out. Disruption from Shadow Demon saves the day. Ori escapes. DY salutes his teammate as he falls to the ground dead. Now, moving in. Yoris. Not sure why he wants to hit onto here. Frost not the optimal target. He's trying to force the chrono out. He's like, hit me, hit me. Gonna be an arrow out, has got the Satanic to help him, but the Splitter follow-up controls him on the side, or he goes in, trying to go in for the Nullify, dodging him out, now the Chrono, onto the Wyvern, we'll find him this time. Chase through, they've still got the Ravage to work with, Frost gonna go down for the first time, the armor toggle is good. That's the fight, Ravage comes out, Mastermind, will fall as well, dead and gone out for the count. And Frost, he comes back up into a mess, no work in his favor, no one to help him. You can armor toggle all you want, but you'd have to be armor toggling for a good minute and a half.
3 of them are dead on the side of Viking GG. They do have 2 buybacks, and on the side of Vici Gaming, they have no buybacks on their supports. But still, man, Vici Gaming, they're just surprising me every single time they take these fights versus Vikings, as they execute them so well. This time around, the Nullifier does not connect on Storm, and that's one of the reasons why he survives for so long, why he's able to go back to base, heal up, rejoin the fight, take care of business, just destroy Leshrac together with that Ravage of Tidehunter.
More important than DUI though. Like
exactly.
This is why this hero is so popular.
Shadow Demon definitely made that all work. Like if Shadow Demon is not there in position to save Storm, none of that happens. He pretty much just saved them the team fight.
The good news if you're Viking is there's a potential that Vici can't kill Roche quick enough. While you are late game, there's a small window when they can get into that pit and kill Roche. And they do not have their big ultimate, so it is incredibly risky for Vici to do this. And it's the longest spawn they can imagine. 10 more seconds to go, which means you have 15 seconds to burst down Roche.
Void knows that it's about to spawn, so he's in the pit, he gets arrowed too.
He naps for a bit. He has the storm. It doesn't last long. Or he's hunting.
There we go.
Heroes is going for it. They need to get the heroes here. Flash is nowhere nearby.
They can go for this Sages, but it is difficult as everyone is respawning on the side of Vici Gaming. However, Roche will die by the time anyone.
They're not in position at all.
Yeah.
Arrow, Tide tanks it. He plays a game of fetch with it, in fact, and keep. Purge tries to jump in, grab something. Instead, he's going to feed over a gem. No.
Oh, that.
Of course, it's lag. It's got to be lag.
Though. I mean, Cube is already dead.
Yep.
And they see Winter Wyvern. They can go for him as well. Does Cube have buyback? He does. So
it's one of those awkward moments, right? Because Flash doesn't want to TP to the shrine because he wants to keep open to his cores who are respawning, but that means he's never going to make it there in time.
Void also just got another Aghanims. That's pretty good for him. He's the one that picked it up.
Now there's Chrono into missed opportunities afterwards are no longer going to be there. Instead, you're going to lose a hero. Plays through. Time dilation on the Flash. Has to use the Winner's Curse and run for the high hills. But this... Oh, this is falling apart for Viking. Apparently their PCs are falling apart as well.
Falling apart, exactly. As Mastermind disconnects, it said they have some lag issues. Vikings, they were completely in control of this game, but then Vici Gaming somehow just outplays them around that high ground of theirs, around that shrine of theirs. Couple of times. First, the defense that they put up against the Aegis and the Cheese was really incredible. Very well played by Ori. Then they lose again a fight in their own woods. Also because of Ori. He jumps in, gets nullified, orchided. But after that, he learned his lesson. We haven't seen that mini Doom on him at all, the Orchid plus Nullifier, as he's able to just zip around. And it's not really an easy thing to accomplish versus a Storm. Like, nullifying and Orchiding him, he's most likely going to be able to Either pop the BKB Yules or zip around before that projectile connects.
I think the way that we're going to assess these games at these rates, it's amazing that Vici's done this with an item that is not really desired much at the moment, is the name of this series should be How to Lincolns, because now 2 games in a row, it's been the Fawn in Viking side. Right, for a while, Void was very paranoid about his chronos, but there's always Lincolns now. He doesn't care as much about the winner's curses. Same for the Storm Spirit. And last game, we saw it on the Lina, picked up to enable her carry. And Viking, they just get stopped dead in their tracks every time by that item.
Who's not stopped dead in his tracks is Leshrac. Mastermind is back, and he wants to play some more, but Cube says, no, wait. Want to chill a bit. I need some more.
He wants to, he wants to negotiate the gem.
No, I'm not.
Like, guys, if I give you Flash, will you give me the gem back?
Mastermind is dead again. Never mind. He's out.
Okay. It's okay. He's hard to kill when he gets back, though. He does have an Aeon Disc and a BKB. The bad news is that in 20 seconds, Eurus is going to have a chrono, and then he'll have it every 60 seconds afterwards.
There's definitely difficulties that they're about to face, and I'm not... Their PCs. But see just how much they'll be able to do. Surprised that there's no Abyssal from Wraith King, but yeah, considering you're playing versus this Butterfly, they just had no damage versus the Void. For the longest time, they couldn't take him out of the equation because they just don't hit him. They just miss everything. So MKB is definitely a good option.
That's the thing. He took the backtrack talent. Like, this is the most frustrating thing imaginable for you.
Backtrack plus the Butterfly feels bad. Yeah, that AoE talent for Chrono can be really good, but sometimes it just feels like it's hurting you more than benefiting, right? Like,
yeah, when you got heroes like Storm, especially, right?
Exactly. Your allies can't hit. Some of your teammates get clipped by it too. Like,
I like to call that the "it's all about me" talent, right? In your pub games, you want everyone to know that you're the big man with the 5-man Chrono. The problem is you get all of your 4 teammates in it as well, so it's a 10-man Chrono. Makes for an interesting game. Well, Viking are trying to drag this one out to the hour mark if you technically count in the pauses. But hopefully we'll have them back soon. You got to look at what the next big play is. What is the big opportunity for Viking to bounce back? There's a lot of gold sitting on that Wraith King. You mentioned the MKB. I think that's locked in. There's no really any other option you can go for in this game right now. Wyvern, you haven't got buyback for a minute and a half, and I'm pretty sure Vici is going to be on your high ground by then. So if you can pick up a blink before then, great. But you just used a Winter's Curse that's now on cooldown for 75 seconds.
Yeah, that Winter's Curse is a big spell that they have wasted right now, but he needed to get out.
Die.
He doesn't have buyback, so...
I mean, he could still die because Void, he took that Time Walk range. He can reach in 1 second.
There's Storm, yeah, he doesn't have a lot of mana, but he will regen it up in a matter of seconds, and then he can pursue too.
I mean, you could literally just cheese Bull in, because you know that this kill is worth it if need be. But yeah,
I don't know if it's worth the cheese. Like,
if you see Mastermind, though.
Mastermind has Aeon Disc, has BKB, Yules as well.
Still killable, you got a Void.
Definitely. With the Void, definitely killable. The good thing, though, let's look at the silver lining for